So here we are again, and I guess today we're talking about the differences or collecting perspectives in the box and out of the box, if you
Yeah.
will. And I guess before we do that, you have something you want to do?
Yeah, I want to do my shout outs.
Oh, here we go. No, all right, go ahead. I'm just messing with you.
Today I just want to give a shout out to a few new subscribers. Just say thank you for subscribing to the channel. Dean Elliott, Indy Pollock 81, what's that? Katz Blager.
Blager, I guess so.
Yeah, Katz Blager and LJ the Geek.
LJ the Geek.
So just want to say thank you guys for subscribing, constantly leaving comments and
hmm
feedback, liking the videos. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. And did you want to show some pickups? We have some
Yeah, we
stuff
could
sitting
show
here,
a
and this
few
kind of
pickups.
ties in. We're both like in the box collectors. But Ternessa's picked up some more great stuff here recently. Got the Masters of the Universe 200X Snake Men Fisto.
Yeah, and Fisto is a hard one to find. The classic and the original, they run pretty expensive. So this is the only Fisto that I have from the 200X.
hmm
I don't have the classic or the original. So I'm trying to wait until I can find that super cheap. And sometime I'll have luck with that.
I think it's interesting that they gave him a completely prosthetic arm in
Yeah,
200X as opposed to just having a big glove like in the original series.
yeah.
And this one I really like these. NECA Four Horsemen, the Sorceress mini statue,
hmm
which is really
And
nice.
that's from series 3. They came out with 5 series. And
And the artwork on the
yeah, the
packaging is
artwork on
really
the
nice
back
as
is
well.
really nice. And this is the sorceress from the 200X series.
Yes,
And that sorceress actually
very
looked a lot better than the original
the
sorceress,
original
I thought.
Sorceress. All the original Sorceress had better thighs. NWO Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Hulk Hogan you loved to hate, the Hollywoodized, the one that was made famous with WCW
Yeah.
when he was riding with that, and an actual picture of the character on the back instead of just a pop depiction.
hmm
And you have something else there?
Yeah, the last one.
The Wolfpack Sting
It's
in
a
red,
GameStop
GameStop
exclusive.
exclusive. It doesn't have a GameStop sticker.
No, not that one. Yeah, you got it's secondhand,
Oh, yeah. They forgot the sticker on this one
I guess.
because you get pictured here in the regular face paint because
Yeah,
he
and
wore
I
the red
have that one.
sometimes. But when he wore the red face paint, it was
hmm
easier to make out his facial features than when he wore the white. I think he was
Yeah, he
better,
looks a lot like Kane. If you saw the Kane pop,
a shorter, thinner Kane.
yeah,
Oh, you mean the pop?
yeah,
Yeah, he looks a lot like Kane. So what we're discussing is in the box or out of the box because there's a lot of back and forth about that sort of thing.
yeah. And we had a few subscribers to ask us about that, and
hmm
they wanted us to talk on it, so we're talking on it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that have this attitude that are like, hey, toys are meant to be played with, and you're supposed to open them, and you got to let them breathe, and open the packages and stuff like that. And personally, we don't do that.
hmm
Um, and I get a handful of examples here of things like a lot of the reason why you wouldn't want to open it is because of value. Now, there's an original Star Trek Mego Uhura from 74, I think they made these. I'm trying to remember. But out of the box, I mean, packaged, she's worth like upwards of 5 times the value or more, still sealed and unpunched for the obvious reason that it's just rare. People got the toys, they open them, and the more they open the packages, the fewer packages they are. And one of the reasons why I enjoy the packages is just because the artwork itself really blends into the pop culture. you know, you got this classic painting of Star Trek and the first wave or first series of Mego figures there.
Hmm.
Another one that I really like is like the G.I. Joe, which I have in a protector here because this one is unpunched. Still has the original price tag, and that doesn't bother me on packaged items if it still has a price tag, as long as the price tag isn't huge, because that just gives you a little history on the toy. Originally, somebody paid $5.29 for this.
Hmm.
Now it's worth a lot more. But G.I. Joe, even back in the day, all the way from the beginning, from 1964 when they started to now, has always been very prominent with the artwork. And this one is worth a huge difference, literally 10 times the value
Hmm.
of a loose figure versus the carded one, because all the kids open these. Then you have something like this NECA Terminator 2 T800. This one is where you start to blur the line, because he is in this box and it's got this door, but you can't really display it with the door open to really see or appreciate the figure. You have to display the box, then you can't see the toy unless you open the box. With the NECAs though, I mean, you could cut the tape and then display the figure, and if you ever wanted to put him back together, you could put him back in here, and then if you were able to reseal him and everything, but you know, people would know, a collector would know that it had been opened, and that would bring the value down. This isn't worth like a fortune, but the figure is only going to be worth about half as much as the boxed example. And we had just done a video talking about mystery minis, and this is a WCF mini from Dragon Ball Z, and God, I can't remember his name, but
it's not on the box. Isn't that the name? Vados?
Vados. He has like 3 or 4 different translations of his name, so I'm a little confused. I'm confused anyways. But this is sealed, but at least you know who's in there. But then you're just displaying a box with a picture of the character. And these are, I mean, these don't even sell for the retail. This is $15 retail. It's like $14.95, but you can buy them a lot cheaper because I don't know.
Yeah, but see, with this one, and this goes back to what we were talking about on the last video with mystery minis, and what I was saying. If you don't take it out of the box, then all you have is this box, and this is not even a nice box.
At least with this one, you know who's in there.
Well, yeah, you know who's in there, but it's not
regular
nicely...
mystery mini boxes, they all have the same image on the front.
Yeah, but it's not even a nice box to display. Like if y'all saw the video I did of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I showed the kid robots and I showed the box. The box is actually nice. The artwork was well done. It had a picture of who was in the box on the box. You know, and right now I have that displayed in the box, but that's one of the only ones that I do want to display out of the box. But because I don't have the space, they're in the box right now. But I'm fine with that because the box is nice. And then we saw a video last night of a person. He had the kid robot Ned Flanders.
The Australian Funko collector.
Yeah, and that was a really nice box. And I would love to display that box because the artwork.
Yeah, they did a good job. Really Kid Robot does it. They're thinking about that. And it's, you know, it's people that, the companies that think about that, you want to be able to see the whole toy, and it's got great artwork. Most people are not going to want to open this. You remember, most people who opened these were kids back in the day, and then as adults came along, we're like, wow, I wish I could still find that packaged, and that's what drives the price up. Unless you're going to do something different, like here's a Godzilla. This is who made these? I forget. I think this is a Bandai, 1999 Bandai. It says 2001 on there. That was the theater release, because what they did was they had a bunch of these in different translucent colors, and you could only buy them in the theater in Japan during the release of the film. and this is the brown one, brown with some glitter in there. But he's just got the hang tag on there, and so they kind of have their finger on that whole concept. Okay, you don't have to open it. Here you go.
Yeah, it's
This is
already
how
open.
it is. Or like this one that I got, which is from the Godzilla Vinyl Wars, and this is very classic Japanese, the way they do this, where they put it in a cello bag. They put it in a bag because this is how they've all, when you find Japanese like Bullmark and other Popey and companies like that made this stuff in the 60s and 70s, they put it in a big bag and it would be in a hang tab, but they only had them in Japan. So finding them loose, like if you found this guy loose and he had his smokestack still, because this is hilarious. This is Hedorah from Godzilla. And the reference of the smokestacks, if anybody's wondering why the hell he has chimney stacks here, he walks up to the smokestacks in the film and decides to have himself a smoke. It's black smoke pouring out of the smokestacks, and he comes up and he's like, "Ah, okay." He just starts sucking on them, which is hilarious. But if you had this loose as opposed to in the bag, not too much of a price difference because the cello bag isn't considered too important. Usually if somebody, a Japanese collector, a Japanese vinyl collector, wants to display this out of the bag, they'll get rid of the bag and keep the header card.
Okay. And just put it in another
Yeah,
bag.
and and it's not that big of a deal to them. But, as you can see, or most people probably know, still having it sealed makes a huge difference in the price point. There are other alternatives like this right here. This is a Hot Toys Rambo First Blood, first movie, Sylvester Stallone Rambo. And with these types, this is an early Hot Toys. This is from like what, 2006, I think? 2006? I think that's right. Hot Toys.
Yeah, it says 2006.
Okay, John Rambo. But the way that Hot Toys has done this and Sideshow has done these types of figures, you can open this and it's like the clamshell in here is in layers, and you can lift them off and take everything out and display your figure, and if you want to, put the whole thing back together. So if you have a loose collection of Hot Toys or other 12-inch or 1/6 scale figures like this, you can take it apart and put them back together, and it shouldn't affect the value as long as you kept everything.
All the pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing with taking things out of the box that have a lot of pieces. People lose those pieces because sometimes you have like weaponry or clothing or paperwork or something that goes along with it. And you'll find if you go to toy stores, they'll have the figure but not the accessories. So you don't have a complete item.
Or if they packed it back up, they didn't keep all the packing material. A lot of times they lose those little twisties that were in the packaging. I mean, and all of it comes down to preference. Like I got these. I have a collection of these as well.
That's nice.
Yeah, and this is the Build-A-Figure, the Hulk Build-A-Figure that comes from the Marvel Legends, and I got Marvel and DC Legends and others, where you have to open the package in order to put the figure together. Because there's a piece in each. It could be like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different packages has one piece of a figure, and you assemble it and you build it together. And this is one of the more recent ones that I have, because this has been out for almost a year, I think, since summer at least. These have been circulating, and these Build-A-Figures usually have a fair value on them. They can only be displayed loose.
Right.
Because you have to open another figure to put it together. And I didn't do that. I get mine
already together.
Yeah, already put together, because I can't open the packages. I can't bring myself to do it. I just can't do it. And Warren does that too. Warren has, and I've talked about him before, Flippity from Roblox. I always mess that up. He has a huge collection of loose items, loose figures,
Hmm.
but he won't open them either. He'll find them loose. He'll doesn't matter. He's got tons of Ninja Turtle stuff and Transformers and
Masters of the
Legends,
Universe.
yeah, Masters, vintage Masters. He's not opening anything. He will track it down loose and display it that way.
Yeah. Well, and like I said before, my thing with um, loose items is how you display it. Are you like this hot toy? How much is this worth?
The Rambo,
Roughly, roughly.
maybe 350.
I need about 350.
$300. You're gonna pay $300 for something and then just throw it on a shelf and it collects dust. You don't organize it well. You don't keep up with it. You don't maintenance it. So now it's like, okay, I spent $300 on this thing, and I treat it like a discarded rag.
Yeah.
Or like trash, basically. And I've seen that in some of these videos, how people they have a huge collection and it's
And some
nice,
valuable stuff
yeah,
too.
and it's very nice, but they don't take the time to really, I mean, and I'm not saying buy these super elaborate, expensive
Oh, the
shelves.
cases and stuff.
Yeah, because I've seen
Yeah.
some people with did some very nice shelves. The shelves that we have, we got them from Goodwill, OfferUp. We bought super cheap shelves and just wipe them down and
And
clean
these
it up.
DVD/CD shelves
Yeah.
work really well because they're not deep. They're only like about,
Mhm.
5 inches deep. And so, because a problem that I really hate, and you see a little bit of that going on with the bookshelves, although I try not to, where am I? Right there. I try
Mhm.
not to get too carried away with it because it's deep. People will feel a need to fill it up. I can't do that. I'm only, a boxes in the back, you see, and then like a couple of displays of some figures in the front, maybe.
Yeah.
But people have a bookshelf and they'll put like 5, 6, 7 figures deep, and you can't tell what it is anymore after a while.
Yeah, and I've seen the video and they're like hovering over it and you're looking at rows and rows and rows.
And then
And
it's dark and you
yeah,
can't tell what it
and it's
is.
like, how can you enjoy it if you got to try to look in between? And I'm not saying that people that display their figures in the box keep theirs any neater, because I've seen people that have it in the box and the box is all dusty and the window gets yellow because you put it out in the sun or in front of
Yeah.
a window or something like that. But my whole thing with collecting, and I've made this argument before, not just on videos, but I've told other people, if you're going to collect something, that means to you it has value and
Yeah.
it means something. If you pay 50 cents for it, it means something to you. So treat it like you spent $1,000. And that's anything. I collect bells. Some of them I bought for 25 cents because I liked it, but I treat it like I spent $100 for it because you keep it wiped down, you keep it neat, you keep it in the area, you display it, you show it like, wow, that how much you spent for that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my big thing. That's probably a nitpicky thing, but if you're gonna have something, treat it like it's worth something.
Yeah, don't think about how much money you invested in it. Think about how
Yeah.
much time and effort you invested in it.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to like all of these shelves right here. We bought um Craigslist, Goodwill, stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
wipe it down
Clearance. Yeah.
wipe it down really nice, and then display your figures or build a shelf. Like we have the video where David
Yeah,
built
I made
me
that wall.
something. So that's my whole thing with collecting. Period. In the box, out of the box, just display it
Be
well.
careful about where you have it. Don't have it someplace that's damp or like if I can point one more time here, you see these vinyls right here.
Oh,
These are the classic like General Mills and Kellogg's vinyls, and there's the three those are the
snap,
three
crackle, and
Snap,
pop.
Crackle, and Pop that's actually on the header on the channel.
Hmm.
Um, these are hard to find in decent shape, loose, because people when they got them, they displayed them in their kitchen and
Yeah.
they get really grody that way, and they get like an oil residue on them from the cooking that's almost
Yeah.
impossible to clean off. So a lot of
Yeah.
times you find them yellow or like especially I've
Like
got
grease
the
stains. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw a
the
video.
Pillsbury Doughboy ones that I have,
Yeah.
sometimes people would display them in the box in the kitchen, and that cellophane that's because it's a really thin cellophane on those Pillsbury boxes
Mm-hmm.
from the like 74, I think they made those.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never get that cellophane clean. You're better off just tearing it off and throwing it away and just leaving it in the cardboard inserts.
Yeah, just because it's a food item based toy
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to put it in the kitchen, you know. And I saw a video a few weeks ago. This lady, she buys the cereal Funko Pops and she displays hers in the kitchen. But if you go into anybody's kitchen that
That's the first
cooks
thing that I thought of. It's
often,
like, oh.
yeah, if you cook often enough, you know, like some people maybe they don't cook often, so their kitchen stays clean.
Even the moisture that
Yeah,
builds
the
up in the
moisture,
kitchen.
and when you fry stuff, the oils that are in the air, they get and they collect on stuff. If you just look at your cabinets, they get a sticky residue on it from all of the oils and the grease and everything else that's in the air in your kitchen. So you got a collection of toys, or even your ceramic ware that you keep your flour and sugar and stuff in. That stuff gets a film on it, so it's going to get on your toys.
Yeah, I mean, you can clean your kitchen up and control that, but you
Yeah,
can't clean it off of cardboard and cellophane.
yeah,
It's after a while, it's going to start eating into it.
yeah. So, you know, a big thing, again, just keeping the stuff clean. So if one day you do want to sell it, like I bought a Masters of the Universe figure from, I can't remember, from somebody. I got it, it was just caked with dust. I mean, I was able to get it off, but I'm just saying, you know, if you got to think, okay, maybe one day I might have to sell this, or maybe I want to
Yeah,
gift it down to someone. You want it to be in the best possible shape. So you wipe it down, you know, once a month or however often. You just dust it off and, you know,
just
keep
take
it
care of it.
organized. Yeah, keep it or keep take care of it. Take care of it.
Some of the stuff I like to display, like I
Don't
was saying,
smoke.
yeah, don't smoke. And watch out for the pets. We're lucky because Romeo doesn't touch anything. People
Yeah.
ask about that. Watch out for the cat. Cat doesn't touch our stuff. He's
No, he'll sniff
really,
around, but he doesn't
really,
touch
really
anything.
well-mannered animal.
Yeah.
Um, is the classic box art, the
Mhm.
pop culture box art, like even this one. That's some great artwork. If we're on the Rambo here, it's too bad they can't show the figure and through this somehow, like even if they had it cut away, like you see the Sean Cassidy I'm pointing to right here, Kenner Sean Cassidy from the Hardy Boys that I'm pointing to in the
Oh
red
yeah.
there next to the Terminator head.
Yeah. I see it.
How it's a header card, but it's got the figure so you can see the artwork and the figure.
Mhm.
I should have brought him down, but you know, you get the idea. At least that way you have your option.
Mhm.
This you feel almost compelled to tear apart because you can't do anything with the figure like that.
Yeah.
And it's fun also to there are times where it's fun to collect stuff loose. Like I have the classic G.I. Joe French Resistance fighter here. He's complete. He's got all of his other accessories in a little bag. But you know, got him on the stand, and there is a huge market for vintage G.I. Joe collectors who like to display complete loose mint condition figures
Mhm.
like this one. This one's in exceptional condition,
Yeah.
and he has everything, even the metal. I know somebody out there is going to be like, where's his French Resistance medal? Hold on. Right there in the bag. Pins have never been bent. Still has the sticker on it. But that's you know, a classic. And when you're dealing with much older items like that,
Mhm.
it's okay if you find it loose. You find it loose and display it.
Mhm.
But once again, who's going to open one to display a figure?
Well, somebody will.
Unless you know what some people do though,
Mhm.
is they'll find one in a box or on a package that's completely trashed
Mhm.
so that they don't feel bad about opening it.
Or yeah, just so they won't have to spend the top dollar for it.
Yeah.
Because the worse the packaging is, the cheaper it is sometimes,
Hmm.
depending on what it is.
It's happiness. You know what would make this really a cup of happiness? If it's full of ice cream, because happy.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness. A cup of ice cream in my. I don't. You know what happens? I do put ice cream in a cup, and then Romeo comes along and he sits like right next to wherever I am.
Yeah,
And
you take his little
if you
paws
look
and
away,
pull it
if you
close
look
to him.
away, he'll reach way out and he'll stick his paw in the loop and try to pull the cup towards him.
Or he'll stick his big head in
His
there.
head won't fit in the cup.
But he thinks it does.
He thinks it does. Yeah, he does. Oh, one more thing. Statues. I think I have. I was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Statues would be easy enough. If you kept the box and everything in it, you can display the statue and just keep it clean, and then you could put it right back together in the box. And most people who collect statues, it wouldn't bother them if it's not factory sealed, as long as everything is like in perfect condition.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking about too was looking at the artworks, because that's something I really like about vintage toy items is just some of it has really great artwork. Even the Masters of the Universe,
Mm-hmm.
the play sets and vehicles have great box art.
Yeah.
And then on the back of the action figures, they usually has great art, but usually not on the front.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I was thinking about. This is really not very good artwork, is it? On the pops, because it's just a sketch of the pop. It doesn't pop. It's not dynamic. Like, I'm going back to this again because I just love the Vintage Joes. That artwork just jumps out.
Yeah.
That is fantastic artwork.
It looks hand done.
It is. It's those. They're all oil paintings.
Yeah.
Somebody painted that, and then they reduced it and used it for the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they still do it that way, but they've done it since '64, as far as I know.
Right.
And
what?
Any other points? No other points.
No.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's all a matter of preference.
Mm-hmm.
And also, obviously, if you have something and you open it, it's not going to be worth as much as if you had left it sealed, and the difference in value can be considerable. Like I said, the G.I. Joes, it's like you're talking about almost a 10 times difference for carded versus loose items. That is one thing, going back to this again, that is one thing I can give Funko credit for.
What is that?
This is easy to open and reseal.
Yeah.
So as long as you kept it clean and you still had your box and everything, if you had this displayed loose, you could put it back in and seal it up, and if everything looks kosher, you're good to go if you ever needed or wanted to sell it or trade it. So I can give them credit for that.
Yeah.
So once again, it falls down to you. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's all about preference.
Yeah, it is about preference.
It's all about preference. If that's what you want to do, that's great. Everybody has their own preference, their own likes and dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
It's pros and cons to everything. We just happen to be in the box collectors, both of us. So that's what we tend to do. And again, there are, out of all of the figures I have, it's only the kid robots that I do want to display outside of the box.
And those can be opened and resealed.
Yeah.
Without issues.
And if you saw the video, I showed them out of the box, but still in the plastic packaging. But that plastic packaging, the way that they have it made, it opens up because it folds around the figure, and it opens up, and you can take the figure out, and then you can put it back in there and seal it back up.
Yeah.
So they did a good job with that. I guess they thought ahead, and they were mindful of that. So that was good.
Just not with their mystery figures. They do mystery minis.
Yeah, because their mystery, no, it comes in bags, because that guy.
Well, it's a bag in a box.
Right.
So
you get a box like this, and then it has a bag with the figure in it.
Sealed up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, there's a contest.
Oh, one thing I want to say about that contest.
What?
I said this about the last contest and actually did a video on it. I don't know if I'll do a video on it, but okay, you have to be a subscriber.
Yes.
If I can't find your name on the subscriber list, and you know how to get to the subscriber list.
Yeah.
Because what I'll do is, like, the day before or that day, the day the contest ends, I'll look on all of the comments and write your name down, and then I compare it against the subscriber list.
Yeah, so watch out, you could be overlooked.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. Because you can block your view of the subscriber. You know, if you want to be in a dark subscriber, I guess. Just take just take that off until after the contest is over, so that I can write your name down. Because if I don't see your name on that subscriber list, I won't write it down. And if you want to know if you're on there, just send me a message and I'll say, yeah, you're on the subscriber list.
Okay. So if you to find out what the or it's not even a contest, it's a giveaway.
It's a giveaway.
Yeah, I know we keep
say
saying
contest,
that.
but
Same
it's a
difference.
giveaway. Yeah.
You've got to like and comment on that video that you want in on the contest, in which I'm still doing it, in on the giveaway, in which giveaway you want, because it's split into 3.
Yeah.
And I'll put a link to that video down below. And so please like, share, and subscribe.
Yep.
Hopefully you found the commentary interesting. So like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you again soon. So Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there that participates.
Yeah.
In Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday to you that are going out there and shopping on Black Friday.
Oh my God.
Happy Black Friday.
Do a whole other video on Black Friday. But
tell us what you got on Black Friday.
Yeah, really. We should do a video. I know there's a couple of exclusives that are supposed to be floating around, but I haven't really heard much.
I haven't heard they're supposed to do a Black Friday. I know Funko does a Black Friday release. I only
Funko
heard
does
of
everything.
2 or 3 at Hot Topic, but it was nothing that I wanted.
Metallic R2-D2 or something.
More Star Wars.
Yeah. At least you recognize that R2-D2 is part of Star Wars.
Who can't with it? It's out everywhere.
Well, the new movie's coming out in December.
Well, whatever.
All right. So, yeah, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you again soon. So, see you later. Oh, I gave birth to a cat. He does. Yeah, he's gonna take off now.
Yeah.
Meow. Watch out.
You messed it up for him.
Oh, did I? Did I ruin his day?
Yeah.